Have you heard that you always need to be niching down? In today's video, find out why the people telling you that are completely wrong. So a couple of videos ago, we talked about not becoming a jack of all trades, a master of none, or the underpants gnomes, or these market generalists with no specific plan. So it seems appropriate to, at least for a little bit, talk about the opposite danger, that of becoming overly specific. And you don't run into this promise much, but you do see it more often than you'd think. And when I was in corporate America, I would run into this all the time, where there are these people who are great at their jobs. They were absolute masters of their craft. They knew that job down pat. The problem was, as I would talk to them, as I'd be looking at the systems they were using, the way they approached it, I started to realize that not only was their job or the skill set that they developed in that job useless in any other industry, it would have been useless in another company in that same industry. So outside of this very specific world they lived in, doing this job in this industry for that company, if they ever got downsized, if anything ever happened, they had no transferable skill set whatsoever. And that's a pretty scary place to be, especially when the economy can be so rocky and people's loyalty, especially at big corporations, can be so fleeting sometimes. So this is something that I talk to with a lot of the people who come in for consulting, is making sure that they're developing a specific skill set, but that it's not overly narrow at the same time. Like most of my pieces of advice, it always seems to come back to some kind of pop culture reference. What I always remember was this episode of 30 Rock. And this was back around early 2010s, I want to say, when reality TV shows were becoming really popular and scripted TV shows were becoming less in vogue all the time. And Tina Fey's character, Liz Lemon, she was the head writer for a TV show. So she was wondering whether or not that job was going to keep up, or whether or not that was just going to go away like other professions did. And in one scene, under a bridge in the dark of night, people come from the shadows and talk to her, telling her to come with them.
It's over. Who's there? Show yourselves. You're one of us now. Who are you? Better to ask who we used to be. People whose professions are no longer a thing.
And one lady said that in a past life she used to be called a travel agent. One guy said that he was an American automotive worker, because again, this was in the recession when that was just going away completely. The third guy said that he used to do dynamite saxophone solos for rock songs in the 90s.
Once, I was called travel agent.
I was an American auto worker.
And I played dynamite saxophone solos and rock and roll songs.
Come. We live under the subways with the CEO of Friendster.
No, TGS isn't dead yet.
So they said, come with us, your job is dead too. We live under a bridge with the CEO of Friendster. That was the way they set it up. And again, it's a TV show, just a funny example, but it's true. You can look at history and all these things that were secure jobs for a long time. Something technologically happens, something happens within the market, and then they go away. So when we're developing our skill set, we want to look at what sort of skill set am I developing? What sort of expertise am I developing? If we become the greatest laser disc designer in the world, the telegraph operator, something like that, that's cool, and we were really great at that job, but when the technology changed, what good does that do us as the market changes? So like anything, there's a balance. We talked about not becoming generalists to where we don't have any specific area of expertise, but we also don't want our area of expertise become so narrow and so specific that no one's going to buy from us, especially when we're entrepreneurs. Again, I think about myself. We'll talk about how I could say that I do bookkeeping, taxes, financial planning, dentistry, real estate sales, all this stuff, and I'm not good at any of it. Or I could theoretically say that I am the expert in section XYZ of the Internal Revenue Code as it relates to mining equipment for foreign subsidiaries of multinational corporations. And that's great that I'm a real expert at this stupidly narrow niche, but I'm never going to get any customers for it. So what we'll talk about with clients is the Goldilocks approach. Not too narrow, not too specific, not too hot, not too cold, just right. You have to find some middle ground to where you're offering an expertise that most people can't do and to where you really execute that very well, but also not so stupidly narrow that your pool of potential customers is extremely tiny. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and if that resonated with you, if you've ever been through something similar, we'd love to hear your experiences and what you thought about it.